What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to be testing the damage cap. With the introduction of damage limit break, I wanted to go ahead and use two of my favorite Legacy Sugo Fest exclusive characters in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and I just wanted to see if using them as a captain, if I'm capable of reaching the damage cap. And I guess, you know, the characters are so OP these days that I don't think it's much of a surprise that they can do it, but it is still hilarious to see Timeskip Luffy as a captain. Now, albeit he does have level limit break with all things considered, which does give him some additional effects. For those of you who don't know what Timeskip Luffy receives with his level limit break, he now becomes an attack booster with his special, and he also provides a conditional boost. I believe he gives an attack boost, but I know for sure he does reduce enemy defense and gives you a conditional boost for 3 turns. Originally, the Timeskip Luffy level limit break was ideal to use in the Grand Voyage against the Strength Buggy, but of course, you know, as time has gone on, you don't really need this character anymore. Still very, very good for that. As for the other characters that we're using around Timeskip Luffy, no surprise, we're going to be using the combination of Zoro and Sanji with Shanks to give the fact that Shanks needs, you know, a full team of slashes. Luffy boosts free spirit. We have the friend captain Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, which works so well, so we can get the double stacking conditional boost with Shanks, as Shanks provides the weakness buff and a weakness conditional boost. Luffy with the self-proccing defense down conditional boost. Zoro and Sanji, of course, for kind of gelling everything together. We do have Yamato, Oiran Yamato, for the Rush Sugo special, giving us a lot of additional damage. My Yamato is at level 4, and then we also have the damage reduction based attack boost, which Yamato provides, and then we have the final character on the team, which is Brogy and Dory. Now, Brogy and Dory, I didn't really know what to put here, but considering the fact that we have the weakness buff from Shanks, I wanted to somehow inflict increased damage taken to the opponent. And Dory and Brogy made a bit of sense because they do inflict increased damage taken, and they can give us actually quite a lot of additional damage due to the way that they're kind of designed, as they do 2 or 3 times the amount of damage that they deal as end of turn damage. So the thing is Dory and Brogy's end of turn damage does bypass damage limit altogether. So Dory and Brogy, you guys are going to see towards the end of this clip, the amount of damage that they do with their effect alone is actually kind of cracked. So this team obviously is definitely able to reach the damage cap. As it stands right now, I only had a value of 0.6 added to the damage limit break, which does allow us to supersede that 1 trillion damage cap, but it's not by a significant margin. Do remember though that if you do have like more damage that goes over 1 trillion, you are going to be getting more damage straight up. So, you know, even though, you know, you can get a little bit over that damage cap, if you go even higher above it, the damage limit break will add even more. So it is obviously dependent on all of that. So you can see Shanks there by himself does 1.4 trillion, but we only get 1.2 trillion total for this. So you can see this is Shanks' damage right here, which is showing 1.4 trillion damage. And then obviously with Dory and Brogy, their end of turn damage also does 1.4 trillion damage, which totals for, you know, 2.8 trillion with that team combination together, which is awesome. Now, the secondary character that we're having a look at is going to be my man V1 Katakuri. Now, originally I was just going to do the 6-star version, but the 6-star plus version actually makes a much better team because he's striker focused, and the striker stuff right now is absurd. The stuff with strength Katakuri, I definitely wanted to do it, but the fact that I don't have characters like Zoro and Kaku or Luffy and Lucci, they really make the shooter team do crazy things in terms of high damage content. I do have a character like Legend S-Snake, which could have worked well with Luffy, Lucci, Zoro, Kaku. Unfortunately, I just don't have those units, so we're going to be pivoting to the 6+ version of Katakuri. Now, you do see that we're going to use Katakuri's special first, because we actually have to hit 3 perfects to get his delayed conditional boost, and this is why the strength Katakuri is just straight up a better unit compared to his actual 6+, with level limit break in mind, just because the strength Katakuri just does everything by himself. You don't need to, like, wait a turn to get all of your buffs activated. And the obvious difference as well is that Int Katakuri gives you an attack boost, whereas the pre-evolved Strength Katakuri gives you an orb boost instead. I also make a bit of an error with the tap timing of the action special of the Rocks Pirates, and unfortunately I get a perfect tap timing overall, which means that we don't actually receive the 4.5 times orb boost from their special. I believe it's only a 4 or 4.25 times, so technically the damage that this team is capable of doing is better. We have the friend captain of Roger Rayleigh Gaban. It is a rainbowed plus 600 cotton candy version. I think it's level 150 as well. Like, it is completely maxed out Roger Rayleigh Gaban, and that's important mainly just for the super tandem effect, because the super tandem condition does change when you get them to level 4, level 5, whatever it is. So very, very important that we have that, just to ensure that we can get the super tandem, and by getting the super tandem we can have the super tandem boost from the Rocks Pirate also trigger. And a really cool combination of abilities here. By using Law to switch Rocks to the Captain, we can use their special again to get the set target status. While keeping them as the Captain, we can go ahead and use Ace to cut our HP, which triggers the Rocks Captain ability to give us HP guard and damage reduction, which is fantastic. And remember what I said in terms of the Luffy stuff. I wanted to have Katakuri and Luffy as the Captain. So even though to get more damage, technically, you would actually want to keep Rocks as the Captain, we don't do that. We're going to be putting Katakuri back in as the Captain just to see how much damage we can get with the Katakuri as the Captain instead. So that's going to be really, really cool to show off. I really hope that we get like a high-level Katakuri legend in the future at some point, especially with the introduction of the tag mechanic, or the character tags. I think it would make sense if we got some like new Whole Cake Island support, maybe like a whole new batch of Big Mom Pirates, including a new Katakuri would be absolutely awesome. Would love to see like more representation for older arcs, giving them new categories overall. Like we could get a new Doflamingo family with Dressrosa batch. We could go ahead and get like maybe a Punk Hazard focus thing. Fishman Island could get a lot of support. Obviously, Marineford would be massive. The amount of characters in Marineford is monumental. So hopefully we get more stuff like that in the future where they focus entire celebrations on a solo arc. I think that would be a really, really good way moving forward, because it does get kind of stale just focusing on current anime stuff. Like, obviously, we've been stuck in Egghead for a while. Wano, we were there for ages. So I really hope that we go back and give support to older arcs sometime in the future, as it's going to make the game a little bit more fresh and, you know, cover different arcs, different characters, and, you know, it gives some different characters some representation. So would love to see a new version of Katakuri in the future, a high level, or even a Super Sugafest Katakuri would be absolutely awesome, and I'd be all in for that. So we'll have to wait and see. But here we go in terms of doing damage. So of course we're going to use the Rush of Law first. My Law is only level 2, so the damage that he provides isn't super crazy, although we do have this Roger Rayleigh Gaban friend captain, obviously level 5 super tandem, which gives us a lot of damage. The super tandem boost is going to be triggering, and then we are going to be final tapping with Yamato, which does give a massive, like, it doubles the chain that we currently have, which is actually kind of crazy. So you see in terms of the chain that we have here, make sure you're keeping an eye on the chain right in the middle. Yamato buffs it all the way out to a 19 times multiplier, and Yamato is getting double buffed by Katakuri's captain ability. Yamato herself doing 1.1 trillion, totaling for 1.3 trillion damage with Katakuri here. The cool thing is like, you know, with Katakuri, you can technically like get a delay and then get like multiple turns of boost. So you're seeing here that we are actually able to attack again, and thanks to the HP guard, we can get the rush to perform again. Unfortunately, the final tap of Yamato only works when you actually use her special, but it is what it is. Hopefully you enjoyed the video though. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.